So, if we can move on to new business, we'll stick it in there. If there's not any new business, I'll make a motion we adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry.
I've got one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
For the county, Karen may have the answer to this, but is there a monthly report now of revenue, expenses, in comparison to a budget? But I understand there is no budget for the county.
There is a budget for the
Estimate of
jail.
needs.
There's an estimate of needs every year. Kerry wouldn't even do the budget without it.
Estimate of needs.
Estimate of
Yearly
needs.
office
Budget.
does that.
He asked per month.
Is there a monthly report that comes out?
I'll give that, what did I say, with the payment and everything, you're talking about around 75 to 80,000 a month for the jail, counting the payment, payroll, food, electric bill, water, sewer.
Is it available to the citizens?
Yeah.
Tom has it over there. I took it all to him when we was figuring the half cent. Tom Malott said he's right over there, so he's got all that
Yeah, Dixon,
paperwork.
I'm sure.
Is it available from the court clerk's office?
Treasurer. It's all open records.
Everything's open records.
But,
Except personnel files.
but I pulled it all out and Tom has it. And he's just right across the street here.
What is Tom doing with it?
I showed him how much money we were spending at the jail, and then he was calculating what half cent was
Is this
projected to bring in.
The operating budget that you were gonna give us that we haven't seen yet?
He said that Anita, I'm sorry, he talked to him, and I just figured it'd be in the paper for the whole public to see it. Now, you did go talk to him, didn't you, Anita?
Right. Last week I mentioned that the information I received from Tom is how much we have spent. Nothing like you're asking for, a budget based on the future.
Well, I talked to Carol Huggins, and he said that you and him and Tom had talked, and
We did.
he'd give you all the information on what a half a cent would do.
I have some information, but I don't think I have everything that they're asking about.
Paul, you agreed in a couple meetings back that you would get that budget and present it at the meeting.
And I did ask Tom that. And Tom is the one that asked me, said, let me give it to Anita and then put it in the paper.
How's Tom gonna get an monthly operating budget for the jail?
I give him the figures and the POs, actual money that was spent out there each month.
That's not an operating budget.
That's not operating budget, but that's what it's gonna cost to run it each month.
So you're not gonna have an operating budget?
Well, I think we do. I mean, it depends on what your definition of operating budget is. I mean, we do a budget for the jail, pay the jailers.
A monthly operating budget is a specific
Right.
amount for each. And you're not gonna have that?
I'm not saying we won't.
If you agreed to have it.
I didn't say when I'd have it.
Okay.
You said you'd have it the next week. I
said I
was
would try
there.
to.
You said
And
you
then-
would.
Like I say, I'm just one guy.
So what is all the other elected officials that's got involvement in that do all week long that they can't produce something, y'all get it ready for the meetings when we come back?
Like I said, I did go back and talk to Tom, and I was led to believe, maybe I misunderstood him, that him and Anita's gonna get together and it would be in the paper. I will double check with him
It's
today.
not our job to come up with the budget or to,
I didn't ask her to come up with the budget line.
no, we shouldn't have to fish that much.
You shouldn't have to. He's the one that asked me, and then I asked her, and she said she didn't care to go talk
Anybody
to
that's
him.
running a business has a monthly budget that they deal with. I do, Rick does, everybody who's got a business every month does their budget. We can't figure anything out until we look at
You
that.
can't figure, it costs.
You can't do it once a year.
75 to
Things
80,000 a
change.
month. 75 to 80,000 a month, what it costs to keep that jail open.
Can you bring previous months, how much it cost to run? Say from the last 3 months, can you bring it next week? How much it cost to run in the past 3 months?
That's not what they're asking for.
But can you?
Yes, I mean, it's all in camera, the records are all over.
And then
there.
that way, it would give a little leeway how much it does cost.
I'm telling you, the
You
month
see what
I
I'm
pulled
saying?
up, this is May, it's either March, April, it costs 75 to 80,000. I mean, like Randy says each week, you know, the amount of prisoners change and the food they order. I mean, it's
Now, wait a
gonna change a
minute.
little
I
bit.
sat right there the other day and asked them, and you said 30,000 a month.
Without
Where
the
did I
payment,
miss?
without the payment,
That's what they've been spending, that's not the budget.
without the payment.
That's what they've been
I'm
spending.
talking about payment.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about payment, everything.
I remember.
The whole 9 yards.
Does the jail administrator not have a budget and know how much they spend on everything every month?
I don't
Do they not have a budget?
We set a budget. At the
Who's in
first of the
charge,
year.
who's in charge of the jail administrator? Who is their boss?
The sheriff, in charge of the jail,
Okay, if you're in charge of the jail administrator, you should be able to ask them. I told you that here a while back.
And
And
I did
have
ask
them
Brian.
give you the budget.
I did ask
It's so
Brian.
simple.
I did ask him.
And they didn't give it to you?
He told me, he said, well, Karen will have it all in their office. And I went and took, got every PO, for every dime that was spent at that jail.
That, them POs is not the operating budget.
Right, it's not the operating budget. But to set an operation budget, you would need to know what you were spending out there each month.
Well, they should know. They've been out there now for 8 years. They should know how much it costs every month if they're keeping records like they're supposed to.
Paul, I don't know that I necessarily agree. The history of spending is no indication of what it's going to require to run the jail or what it should require. What we're asking for is a zero-based budget. Commissioners look at what it's going to take to operate the jail and build the budget from the ground up. Not what we spent in the past, because we've all determined that what we spent in the past is either inadequate or not enough to do what we need to do. So let's do a zero-based budget. Let's sit down and say, this is what it takes to operate the jail on a monthly, annual, and a going forward basis. Am I missing something?
It's, you got a budget, you know where you can cut and where you can add. That's why you gotta have it.
In the past, and correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, but the sheriff was told he needed $250,000 to operate, or $225,000 to operate.
No, he had like 400,000 he needed.
Oh, you cut it, I'm staying corrected, then so he asked for 400,000, you cut it to 225.
That's what we had to put in, there's 225. And we left money in the general fund that we knew we'd need to supplement
So
operation of the jail.
you set his budget, cut it from 450 that he asked to 225, and then decided that you'd also supplement it out of the general as you went along?
That's correct.
I don't understand that.
Did he just ask for that amount of money, or did he give them an itemized list?
Yeah, he gives estimate of needs. Every office gives estimate of needs.
Okay. And did he need that? Is that what he truly needed? Did you
He
ever
needs
check?
more than that. I mean, his budget, the jail budget, if he hired everybody that we need to hire, it would be more. His budget would be bigger than the county to run this courthouse.
To run that facility properly,
The way it should be?
I did a zero start budget. I took the handbook from the state required for the amount of people, administrators and task force to operate the jail, and it looks like it would be somewhere around $620,000 to $650,000 a year. And that's keeping it up and maintaining it, which has not been done,
That's fully staffed.
and fully staffed, with a minimum amount of required people by the state.
You're
Which
saying
is
for-
21, is that right, Randy?
I'm
Is
sorry?
it 21 officers, just officers, is it 21?
It's not officers, it's, they have to have.
Personnel.
They have to have 21 personnel.
And is that based on how many prisoners?
No.
When you hit 25,
25 prisoners.
you have to have that many.
21
that many
people for
staff.
25 prisoners.
That's the law.
But it's three, but you gotta understand they're running 3 shifts. I mean, it's 24.
Yeah,
I
it's
understand, I
724.
understand what you're saying, I'm just numbers
And
here.
Rhonda, that's with no relief.
I understand.
That's no vacation.
That's what the state requires. Is
Yeah.
that, do you believe that that's attainable for Haskell County, to have 21 personnel for 25 prisoners?
I don't know, I've never run a jail before. In fact, other than
No, I'm
being
just asking for your
incarcerated, I've
opinion.
never been in one except this one up here.
Do you think it's attainable? I'm just asking you.
For
your
this
opinion.
facility? No, I don't. When they're working with half that number now. But what I was doing was I was looking at all the citations that we get from the state when they get audited. And so I said, okay, if we were going to limit ourselves from exposure and litigation from an accident or a beating or a fatality, what would we need to do? And that's how you build a budget. So the first thing you do is you take what's required and what you're obligated to do. And that's what I did. And I took a lot of the figures that I'd seen from their cost that they actually gave me up there. And that's how I determined how much it was costing us to keep a prisoner. It's cost us $32.74 a day to keep a prisoner.
As a typical practice, whenever somebody presents you with an operational estimate, or whatever we call it, they want to cut it by 50%, or is that just for the jail? He asked for 400 and you gave him.
Well, every office that hands in the estimate of need is gonna ask for more than, everybody wants to
Yeah.
give a raise every year, and we have to
Right.
cut everybody back, but it's not gonna be a problem, because when we put that other 2% in the general fund, we won't be, I don't think this will be a discussion.
I think we'll have to find some savings somewhere.
I hope we do.
Rock's question was, did y'all cut everybody 50% on their estimate?
No, we did not cut everybody 50% on estimate need, but everybody, no office gets exactly what they ask for.
I understand that, but why would the jail get cut 50% if the other offices didn't get
Because
cut
you're looking at
50%?
percentage. I mean, one office up here may be getting $60,000 and we give him 250 or 225. I mean,
No, that's not, nothing to do with estimate of needs.
it's not.
Your estimate of needs is how much it takes to operate it. And if that was his needs, and you cut him in half, did you cut the other offices in half?
Well, I don't see that we cut him in half, because the year before he got 125,000 and we give him extra.
He just got through
100,000.
saying he asked for 400 and something, and you gave him
He
200
always,
something.
the sheriff, in every county will always ask for more money than the budget than you have.
Well, they're running 4 or 5 times more hours than y'all run, because they're running 7/24s and the courthouse just open,
40
4 days a week? 5 days a week?
5 days a week?
5 days a week.
In one shift?
Why are there no cars out
Well, I think it's been a good meeting. And,
To reiterate a little bit on Rick's comment, as I've been told, that they cut his budget so that they could force him to operate part of the jail out of the sheriff's earnings in the
Yeah.
sheriff's department.
that's not
And he's told me that he has operated out of the sheriff's side.
one time.
When he gets tight on money to pay his employees in the jail, he takes money from the sheriff's department, which is a totally separate entity, and pays for the operation of the jail.
That's a good campaign slogan for our 0.5% sales tax, because that'd tell you right there, there's not enough money. But that's,
Yeah, it's time to adjourn.
all right, I make a motion to adjourn.